Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Tiva Drive. And this one I'm actually shooting myself. Our cameramen are busy. And this is the 2024 Mercedes S-Class. This is the S580e plug-in hybrid. And as we previously mentioned, there is no reason why when buying a Mercedes you should choose a pure gas, because these plug-in hybrid and even full electric, and of course the full electric equivalent of this one would be the EQS, which we drove recently. Anyways, no reason for you to buy pure gas, because the plug-in hybrid and full electric versions of the Mercedes are priced exactly the same as their gas counterparts. This one here is equipped with a 29 kilowatt-hour battery, giving it a rated range of 90 kilometers. We'll tell you in a moment what our test results were on the hypermile and regular highway driving, both in pure electric and in pure gas in hybrid mode. So the 29 kilowatt-hour battery, this is the gross capacity. The net capacity is around 25 estimated based on our test results. And so you have here an all-wheel drive system, the 4MATIC system, of course, of which 350 horsepower are provided by the V6 engine, and then 150 horsepower provided by the electric motor, all built into the 9-speed transmission. So you can drive in all-wheel drive at all times. Doesn't matter whether you're driving gas, electric, or hybrid. Your all-wheel drive system is available at all times, unlike some of the other hybrid systems where the electric drives the rear and the engine drives the front. This one, and no, it's a different hybrid system. Anyways, here it is, the newest version of the S-Class, the flagship from Mercedes. The only version that's sold in North America is the extended or long wheelbase version with more space for the rear passengers. Of course, you have all the luxury amenities front and rear. This car here starts at 155,000. As presented with all the options, it's 175,000. Sorry about the dirt. We were driving through some dirt roads yesterday, unfortunately. So it's a little bit on the dirty side. You have these automatic handles, door handles that present. Of course, you have the soft close as well. You close the car. There you go. And then you open it this way here. As you approach the car, the handles will present themselves as well, as long as you have the key in your pocket. They are beautifully backlit door handles as well. Okay, so here's the interior, and I think we're shooting this in wide angle. Yes, we are. Double sunroofs, each with separate sunshade. This car here is not equipped with the hyperscreen. This is the standard setup in most Mercedes cars now, with the two screens and the big dashboard here, main dashboard, and then you have this center screen here, and beautifully appointed interior. So I am now in a very comfortable position in the front. Let us give you the look of the rear of the car. You can see right away that these doors are, the rear doors are actually longer than the front doors. So when you look here, there you go, very long rear doors. That's how you can tell that this is the long wheelbase version. By the way, the charge port is located here. And here a quick note on this car is the car can be equipped with the CCS fast charging. As you can see by the shape of the door, there's space for a CCS charge port. It is a $650 option, and you can charge up to 60 kilowatts. Unfortunately, the early models that the press fleet received, both for GLE and this S-Class, which normally come with a CCS option, did not come with this option, but we highly recommend you should order the $600 option. Okay, so here we go in the back. As you can see, the car is equipped with sunshades all around for the rear passengers, on the side doors and on the rear as well. And they are all operated from this panel here. That's why the rear passengers also have 4 buttons here. So to open the blind, oh, the car is off, unfortunately. Anyways, these 4 buttons, and you can look at the reel on Facebook. These blinds are operated by the passengers. These four buttons here operate both the windows and the blinds, both on the side and in the rear. So quite a lot of space, very spacious car, a lot of LED lighting all around, of course, this car. And again, this rear sunshade is operated by the rear passengers. The driver can also operate the rear sunshade by going through the menus on the center screen. And then finally here, you see the armrest. If you don't have a fifth passenger, you can operate all of the rear functions and car functions such as entertainment, climate, and others using this Samsung tablet that's built into the armrest in the back. Nice storage with some USB-C charging points. Of course, as the luxury category would dictate, you have the ventilation and heating and air conditioning vents on a B-pillar, as well as the center. There we go. Okay, let us show you the trunk space, and then we can tell you what we think of how it compares with the i7. By the way, because this is a plug-in hybrid, we will get a chance very soon to compare it with BMW 7 Series equivalent, which is a 750e plug-in hybrid, and we'll be driving it in the next few weeks. So we'll I guess we should start comparing with that car once we get a hold of it. We drove the i7 and we compared it with the EQS. Now it's time to compare the two plug-in hybrids. So there we go. Here's the trunk. It's a very substantial trunk. However, it's rather shallow. So what happened was, when we were transporting some passengers from the airport with their suitcases, only one large suitcase fits on the left, and then another carry-on only vertically on the right. The space is taken up by the large battery here under the floor. So it's a rather shallow trunk. It's fairly long, but it's shallow. So don't expect to be putting two huge suitcases in here. And also the seats in the back, as you can see, they don't fold. So there's only a pass-through for long items, and that's about it. You cannot fold these seats because they are electrically adjustable. All right, so that's about it for the trunk. And just before we go for the outside look, all the seat controls for the rear passengers are located here. So as you can see right here, you can adjust the seat. Right now it's in its most reclined position, and you can change the position of the seat. And that's why you cannot adjust you cannot fold the seats fully to get access to the trunk. And the same thing, you can see, you can retract the seat itself as well for more comfort or less comfort. So that's kind of neat, of course, to be expected from an S-Class. All right, so that's about it for the walk around. Let us take you for a spin and give you impressions of our test results. Okay, so here we are inside the 2024 Mercedes S580e plug-in hybrid. As you can see, the interior lacks the hyperscreen, but this is still a $175,000 version of the Mercedes. I believe that for that kind of a price, you should be offered the hyperscreen, automatically or as a standard equipment. For those of you who don't know what the Mercedes hyperscreen is, or the MBUX system, it's basically a triple screen system where it's basically one piece here, like a T-shaped piece all the way stretching to the passenger, providing also the passenger screen. Here we have the standard setup, which is the two screens. The main dashboard, let's turn the car on. There we go. The car is coming alive with all kinds of, so we have to mention, of course, that 175 grand gets you all kinds of luxury appointments, such as the heated, cooled and massaged seats both in front and the rear. We just showed you the rear seats. You have the wireless charger, wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, the two cup holders, of which this one has a reducer of some kind, so two of those, and a large storage compartment here with two more USB-C plugs for charging your phones. So you can put two phones here, one of which will be charging wirelessly here, and the other one has kind of a ventilated space here in case it overheats, which happens a lot with wireless chargers. In our opinion and from our experience, a lot of the wireless chargers do not charge it fast enough. They just barely manage to maintain the charge when you're using your phone for navigation and streaming music. Then of course you can close this compartment, nice and clean, piano black, with which attracts a lot of a lot of the fingerprints. We won't go over the menus because they are identical to all the other Mercedes, both plug-in hybrid and excuse me, and pure electric. So the pure electric equivalent of this would be the EQS, which we test drove recently. So again, this one starts at 155 with, as optioned, 175. We are now in the car menu. We raised the suspension because we're driving on the grass on the Georgian Bay shore, as always. So that's about it. And we won't be going through the menus. Let's just take you for a spin and give you our test results and our impressions of this flagship limo from Mercedes-Benz. All right, the shifter, as usual, Mercedes, which a lot of Teslas used to have before they moved all the gear shifters to the main screen. We really appreciate the regular stacks here. Okay, so let's take you for a quick spin around the village as usual. So it's nice to have the air suspension, of course, unless it gets old like it did in our Audi e-tron, and then eventually it requires repair or replacement. On our 6-year-old X5, the rear air suspension went, and it cost over $3,000 to change just the rear and air suspension. So if you're buying an older car with air suspension, beware that those systems wear out and they are not cheap to fix. All right, so we'll leave it on the energy flow perhaps. You have the consumption screen, the charging screen, where you can limit the state of charge, how far you want to charge it up to, etc., etc. It's pretty much similar to all the other pure electric and plug-in hybrid cars from Mercedes. In Europe, every single class of the Mercedes is available as a plug-in hybrid. Everything from A-Class all the way to S-Class. Unfortunately here, this is the only plug-in hybrid that's being offered besides the GLE SUV that was just introduced as well. So it's good that they introduced plug-in hybrids at the top of the range. It would be nice if they also introduced them lower down in E-Class, C-Class, A-Class, B-Class, etc. But perhaps it's coming. Mercedes has one of the widest selection of choices of pure electric and plug-in hybrid cars. It did not bring all the models, just like BMW. For whatever reason, they did not bring the least expensive models here, but hopefully they will in the near future, so we can compare all of them together. Yes, so as you can see, it's a very quiet operation. It's one of the quietest cars that we drove. Of course, it's a given with the S-Class Mercedes flagship. This is their top-of-the-line product, so it has to be super quiet. Even at highway speeds, it's very, very quiet. Even when the engine kicks in, which we'll try in a moment, we'll put it in the sport mode. You control the modes basically through this button here, left or right. So we'll go over the modes in a moment. And they're the same modes as the EQS would have, or any other plug-in hybrid as well. We will have, right now where you can see here in EL, we're in electric. Then you can go hybrid, you can go sport, and you can go B for battery hold. Now the battery hold unfortunately does not charge the battery, it only holds it. So if you want to regain some charge while driving on gas, basically go into the sport mode, but then be aware that it's gonna use more gas. It stays above 2000 RPM at all times, but it will charge up. We got over a few kilometers, we got an extra 10 kilometers or so in electric range by driving in sport mode. So again, battery hold mode will not charge the car. All right, let's take a left here. Yes, so the most important, as an electric vehicle association, our focus is on the electric driving mode. So we're in all electric now. At full, the rated range is 90 kilometers. When we got the car at the beginning of the week, it was showing an 80 kilometer range, so a little bit below the rated. Right now, today, at full, it shows 94. Why? Well, it's easy. So it does adjust the gasometer range estimate based on your previous driving. Yesterday, we hypermiled it from Midland all the way to Collingwood and back, and we were able to get exactly 94 kilometers all-electric range. So yes, as we approach basically an area where we can kind of show you the acceleration from start, we can kind of just stop it and we'll put it into the sport mode. So here we go, we'll put it in sport. and you can hear the engine coming on. And of course the engine normally would need some time to warm up, but we don't have time for it to warm up, so we're just gonna stop it and we'll show you what it sounds like. It's a very quiet engine, very quiet interior. Yes, so you can definitely hear the engine. The acceleration is good, but nowhere near as good as the EQS. Now this car again is equipped with total 510 horsepower, good for about 5 seconds. It's a heavy car, over 2 tons, large battery, heavy battery. So if you're into acceleration and stuff, definitely go pure electric. It's the way to go. Price the same, pretty much 150 grand gets you an EQS 580, and you're gonna have a better acceleration than this plug-in hybrid. Yes, that's kind of makes sense, right? Anyways, so what about the direct competition? Let's put it back in all electric right now. So let's go into so there you go, sport, hybrid, electric, and B for battery hold, and let's say all electric for now. So yes, the main screen here, the dashboard, can be adjusted to display different things, different kind of like every other Mercedes car with the MBUX system. The consumption in hybrid, when we depleted the battery, so basically in the city, what about electric consumption? First of all, the first and foremost, the electric consumption in the city was high. We never managed to, on the short distance trips, like up to 30 kilometers, we never managed to bring it down below 40, which is a lot. Then hypermiling it yesterday at speeds below 100. This is when we managed to obtain the range of 94 kilometers. The consumption was, average consumption was down to 23. Now that's pretty reasonable for a 2-ton limo. So it seems that in order to get the maximum out of this car, if you really want to stay in all electric, especially if you have the DC option, you can stay on the side roads, stay below 100. And then you can reach your cottage in pure electric with one quick top up at the DC, again up to 60 kilowatts. So 15-minute top up should be enough to reach cottage country from Toronto. Of course, when people spend 170 grand on a car, they may not bother driving the side road. They'll just use the highway. They'll use up the electric range as far as it will take them on the highway. Obviously, you're going to be nowhere near 94 kilometers when you're driving on the highway. So don't expect to be anywhere close to that, because on the highway the electric motors are not the most efficient at highway speeds. So you would probably get maybe 50-60 kilometers on the highway with climate. And then again, if you want to minimize your gas use, stop for a coffee, plug it in at a DC, and then off you go again. So this is the way to minimize your gas consumption. Now in a city, which most of the people driving these kind of cars, they'll be using it in a city. Again, almost 100-kilometer range. So in the summer, you will be able to get a 100-kilometer range, especially stuck in traffic on the Gardner or DVP or whatever. So that's a solid range. That's basically would address most commutes within the GTA, from the suburbs into the downtown Toronto and back. And most of the offices in downtown Toronto now have level 2 chargers, some of them even level 3 chargers. So it's a perfect commute car for executives. And it also gives you prime spots with the chargers in most office buildings. They are usually located in prime areas of the underground parking lots of the various office buildings downtown. The only thing is that with the popularity of pure electric and plug-in hybrid cars, the issue will be finding a spot. So we definitely need those landlords, big commercial landlords such as Cadillac Fairview, Brookfield, and others, to address this issue of increasing popularity of plug-in hybrid and pure electric cars, to provide more chargers. Right now the most you will see is 10 to 20, and they're always full during office hours. So what we need them to do is install more, definitely more of those. We could demonstrate to you the Mercedes-Benz Auto Steer, and it comes with semi-automatic lane change, but there's no point. You've already seen it, us doing it on other Mercedes cars. So we're just gonna swing back around here, and Yes, so if you have any questions regarding the test for this Mercedes EQS 580e plug-in hybrid or any other, don't hesitate to comment under our YouTube video, and we'll be happy to respond to your questions. And as always, don't forget to press the subscribe button on our channel to be informed when the next video will be available. And we have lots more pure electric and plug-in hybrid car reviews coming to our channel. So hopefully we'll see you then. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you at the next review.